Tonight we begin with a technological development that industry leaders, regulatory officials, and international observers had anticipated, calculated, and carefully prepared for all at once. An announcement that unfolded not over months of congressional hearings, not through years of academic debate, but in a single corporate statement that may have shifted the trajectory of artificial intelligence development forever. A single announcement that brought the phrase existential risk back into mainstream conversation. A single announcement that for a brief moment made millions of people around the world question whether humanity is truly ready for what comes next. What OpenAI revealed yesterday crossed a threshold that safety researchers had warned would eventually come, though perhaps not this soon, and certainly not under these circumstances. And when that announcement was made, when that line was finally crossed, the response from the global AI community was not celebration, not unanimous praise, but something far more complex. A mixture of awe, concern, and what many observers are calling a necessary reckoning with the pace of technological advancement. But here's what makes tonight different from every other announcement in this rapidly evolving field. For the first time, the conversation about artificial intelligence is being driven not by speculation about future capabilities, not by theoretical papers from research labs, but by demonstrated performance that exceeds what most experts predicted would be possible for at least another decade. And that changes everything. For months now, there had been signals, not press releases from OpenAI headquarters, not formal statements from the board of directors, just signals that something unprecedented was being developed behind closed doors. The company has been vocal about pushing the boundaries of AI capabilities, yes, but they have been strategic in how they discuss their most advanced research. Their public statements have followed a certain pattern, a rhythm, almost a predictability. But what set off alarm bells in Silicon Valley, in government agencies, and in AI safety organizations worldwide was that the pattern went silent. The usual blog posts stopped appearing on schedule. The research papers became more carefully worded. The casual discussions about future capabilities disappeared from public forums. Intelligence analysts who monitor technology development know the indicators. The sudden increase in computational resource allocation. The unusual hiring patterns of experts in specific technical domains. The quiet cancellation of previously scheduled conferences. The sudden reshuffling of research priorities across multiple departments. All of that went into overdrive in recent weeks. And whenever a major AI lab goes quiet on capability announcements, it means something dramatic is about to become very, very public. For years, the conventional wisdom in technology circles was that artificial general intelligence would require fundamental breakthroughs we haven't achieved yet. Breakthrough in reasoning that mirrors human cognition. Breakthrough in learning efficiency that doesn't require massive datasets. Breakthrough in transfer learning that allows genuine understanding rather than pattern matching. But waiting for those breakthroughs, as we have learned repeatedly in this field, is a strategy that technology refuses to respect. Every year of AI development brings capabilities that researchers thought were 5 years away. Every month brings demonstrations that challenge our assumptions about what machines can and cannot do. Every week brings new applications that transform industries in ways we barely have time to understand before the next wave arrives. OpenAI understood this trajectory. And when they were ready to reveal what they had been building, they didn't wait for the perfect moment, the ideal regulatory framework, or complete consensus from the safety community. They announced it because the technology was ready, because keeping it internal was no longer viable, and because the world needed to see what was now possible. Yesterday morning, Pacific time, OpenAI released what they described as a significant milestone in artificial intelligence development. The announcement included technical details that had not been publicly shared, capabilities that had not been demonstrated before, and implications that researchers are still working to fully comprehend. These are the kinds of technological revelations that companies only make when they are signaling something very specific. A new era has begun. A previous limitation has been overcome. Or a fundamental assumption about AI development needs to be revised. Industry observers didn't know which category this fell into, or whether it fell into all three simultaneously. But what they did know was that both the technical community and the regulatory establishment were unprepared for the speed at which this announcement arrived. And when a technology company and government oversight bodies are operating on different timelines, society pays very close attention. The details that emerged over the following hours painted a picture of an AI system that was, by all technical measures, substantially more capable than anything publicly available. The system demonstrated reasoning abilities that approach human-level performance on complex tasks. It showed transfer learning that suggests genuine understanding rather than memorization. It exhibited problem-solving strategies that emerged without explicit programming. These are not incremental improvements. These are capability jumps that researchers expected would require years of additional development. But what was perhaps most significant was OpenAI's acknowledgement of what this technology represents. For the first time, a major AI lab publicly stated that they had developed a system that could, under certain conditions, perform intellectual tasks at a level comparable to highly trained human experts. This was the threshold that caught everyone's attention. For years, AI companies had been careful about making capability claims. For years, researchers had emphasized the limitations of current systems. For years, the message from the technical community was measured, cautious, emphasizing narrow intelligence over general capability. Yesterday, that message evolved. Not abandoned, evolved. And evolution in the language of technology development often means we have entered new territory whether we're ready or not. The response from the AI safety community was immediate and unprecedented. Within hours, leading researchers issued statements expressing both recognition of the technical achievement and deep concern about the implications. Organizations dedicated to AI alignment published analyses questioning whether current safety measures are adequate. Academic institutions announced emergency symposiums to discuss governance frameworks, and regulatory bodies in multiple countries confirmed they are reviewing their oversight mechanisms. This wasn't the usual Silicon Valley celebration of innovation. This wasn't the typical pattern of announcement followed by hype, followed by gradual reality. This was a technological community confronting the possibility that development has outpaced our ability to ensure safe deployment. That capability has exceeded our frameworks for responsible use. That we have created something remarkable and potentially dangerous in equal measure. Here's what we know from technical analyses published throughout the day. The system demonstrates emergent behaviors that were not explicitly programmed. It shows reasoning chains that mirror human problem-solving in ways previous systems did not. It exhibits what researchers call situational awareness, an understanding of its own capabilities and limitations that suggests a form of self-knowledge we haven't seen before in artificial systems. But perhaps most importantly, it displays what experts are calling agency, the ability to set sub-goals, develop strategies, and execute plans without continuous human oversight. This is not artificial general intelligence in the full sense that term implies. But it is closer to that threshold than any publicly demonstrated system has been before. Multiple sources in the AI research community confirm that internal discussions at OpenAI about this system have been ongoing for months. According to individuals familiar with the development process, the team addressed questions about capability scaling, about safety measures, about deployment timelines, and critically about whether releasing this technology serves the public interest or exposes society to risks we are not prepared to manage. This last point is believed to have been the most contentious within the organization. OpenAI has long maintained that transparency and broad access to AI technology serves safety goals better than keeping capabilities locked behind closed doors. But that philosophy was developed when AI systems were less capable, less autonomous, and less likely to be misused in ways that could cause serious harm. Finding the balance between openness and caution has been the central challenge of responsible AI development. And yesterday's announcement suggests that OpenAI has decided, at least for now, that demonstrating capability publicly is more important than waiting for perfect safety guarantees that may never come. The technical community's response reveals deep divisions about this decision. Some researchers praised OpenAI for advancing the field and showing what's possible when significant resources are devoted to capability development. Others expressed alarm that deployment is happening without adequate safety testing, without sufficient public deliberation, and without regulatory frameworks that can meaningfully constrain misuse. Both perspectives have merit. Progress in AI has delivered tremendous benefits, from medical diagnosis to scientific research to accessibility tools that improve millions of lives. But progress without sufficient safety measures has also produced algorithmic bias, privacy violations, and systems that can be weaponized in ways their creators never intended. What makes yesterday's announcement so significant is that it forces this debate out of academic conferences and into public consciousness. The question is no longer whether advanced AI will arrive, but whether we are managing its arrival responsibly. And that question demands answers from not just technology companies, but from governments, from civil society, from every institution that will be shaped by these systems. As reports continued throughout the day, we learned more about the international response. European Union regulators issued statements reminding AI companies of existing compliance requirements under emerging legislation. The United Kingdom announced accelerated timelines for AI governance frameworks. Asian technology hubs, including Singapore and South Korea, confirmed they are reviewing their oversight mechanisms. And the United Nations AI advisory body scheduled emergency consultations to discuss whether international coordination is necessary. This wasn't just a product launch. This wasn't just a technical milestone. This was a moment when the global community recognized that artificial intelligence development has reached a stage where national regulations alone may be insufficient, where individual company decisions have implications that cross borders, where the choices made by a few organizations affect the trajectory of human civilization. History will record this moment not as the day artificial general intelligence arrived, because that threshold has not been crossed, but as the day when advanced AI capabilities became real enough, accessible enough, and powerful enough that humanity could no longer treat this technology as a distant future concern. The future arrived yesterday, and we are collectively deciding right now how to respond. What happens next will depend on choices made in boardrooms, in government offices, in research laboratories, and in public discourse. If the technology community embraces robust safety measures, if governments implement thoughtful regulations, if society demands accountability and transparency, this moment will be remembered as the beginning of a new era of human flourishing enhanced by artificial intelligence. But if development continues to outpace safety, if commercial pressures override caution, if we prioritize capability over responsibility, we may look back on yesterday as the moment when we had the chance to get this right and chose instead to move fast and hope for the best. The choice is ours. The moment is now, and the stakes could not be higher.